Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kiran, I'm a junior doctor and a comedian, and welcome back to News on Drugs, the series where we take a look at some of our favourite stories from health and science from the past few months, and we just make fun of them. These are standalone episodes, so you don't need to have seen the other ones, but if you do enjoy this one, feel free to check out the other ones afterward. Let's get into it.
News on drugs, it's the news on drugs. It's like the regular news, except there's no news and it's just jokes about science and drugs.
Kids of smokers are 4 times more likely to smoke than their counterparts. I can imagine this being true because children, they see what their parents are doing and they want to emulate that behaviour. It's like that Indonesian kid that used to smoke 40 cigarettes a day. Do you remember that? It's terrible that children are ruining their lungs at such a young age. However, there is something about children smoking that just makes them look like mafia bosses. Kids of alcoholics are more likely to drink, kids of drug users are more likely to take drugs, kids of Asians are more likely to become doctors. It's true what they say about the Asian stereotype. A young Asian man is one of 3 Ds. You're either a doctor, a dentist, or a disappointment to your parents. More than 1 million people in the UK are suffering from what they call long COVID. These are symptoms after the acute infection that lasts much longer, including tiredness and breathlessness. They've also said that anti-vax people are suffering from what they call neurological COVID. No, they're not suffering from anything actually. Apparently they're just like that. Long COVID can also cause something called parosmia, which is a change in the sense of smell. There was an article in which everything smelled bad to this person. She quoted hot water as smelling like rotten meat. Imagine going for a cup of water and it tasting like meat juice. But at least now we've got an excuse for breaking wind in public. Was that you? No, it's probably just your long COVID. This fish, thought to be extinct, was found and then released back into the ecosystem. Doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of the word extinct? Isn't that kind of more like being lost in like a real life version of Finding Nemo? What's next? Are we gonna reintroduce other things that are now extinct? Like dinosaurs, or dodos, or top knots? They're dead, yeah, don't do that anymore. Israel are trying to contain an outbreak of bird flu. Someone really needs to tell them that there's a different virus in town. I mean, come on guys, bird flu was so 2006. On Wednesdays we wear COVID. Scientists have found a perfectly preserved dinosaur egg in China. It was buried underneath the ground, so close to the Earth's core, being heated up, and still is less overcooked than the eggs that are served in my hospital canteen. The embryo is thought to be 66 million years old, according to Joe Biden, who was alive at the time. They named the embryo Baby Ying Liang. This little dinosaur inside this egg with an Asian name, doesn't it just sound like a Tamagotchi? Biologist E.O. Wilson has passed away aged 92. Wilson was dubbed as Darwin's heir, except he was a better version, stronger, faster, more intelligent, and more likely to pass on his genes to the next generation. The US government are scrapping part of the Navy and instead putting that funding towards a UFO investigation unit. And yes, it's exactly as batshit crazy as it sounds, and is that kind of thing that could only happen in America. Southern states complained that too many aliens had been taking their jobs, lying around, singing songs, drinking tequila, and eating tacos.
They took our jobs! Yeah!
The new UFO group is being formed to improve understanding and insight into UFOs, with over 150 UFO sightings since 2004. I do really hope the US government stops funding other crazy shit too, like herbology, potions classed, and defense against the dark arts.
Mr. Potter.
A study from the UK discovered that the average person is just as intelligent as a rocket scientist or a brain surgeon, and that these two professions are unfairly being put on this pedestal. If that is the case and this study is right, we'll let Dave from the Chippy do your next brain surgery then. These guys were the gold standard for intelligence. That means we're going to need a new gold standard to compare against now. We can no longer say, well, it's not rocket science, or well, it's not exactly brain surgery. What's the new thing? Maybe it could be YouTube. Oh, that 5-hour craniotomy looks difficult, but it's not exactly YouTube, is it? Over half of young adults are classed as overweight or obese, much to the delight of Ronald McDonald. Media multitasking. That means doing two things at once in the media. For example, playing on your iPad while you're watching a movie has been shown to reduce attention in children. Well, wait a minute, this is just a really good TikTok. What was I saying again? If you like black coffee and dark chocolate, scientists have discovered this could be related to your genes. But let's be real, everyone knows that if you drink black coffee, you're a maniac, and if you drink coffee with sugar in it, you are basically a child. Liking black coffee being related to genes lends even more power to the phrase, once you go black, you never go back. Because it's literally in your DNA. That's it guys, that was News on Drugs episode 5. I've currently got COVID, so if that was a bit slow, that's probably why. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to check out the other episodes of News and Drugs. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video.